All right. Hopefully we are live. Hopefully we are live. Okay, it says that we're live. Hello, hello, hello. If you are watching this live, hey, how you doing? If you're watching this in the replay, hey, how you doing? Let me put this somewhere, child, because I just be doing stuff and like, oh, you know. Hey y'all, so I wanted to do a breakdown on one of the biggest transits that's happened this year, and it is the Mars in Gemini um, transit. So, Mars is a personal planet, as in, it is a planet that impacts us. Um, it is a planet that impacts us like on a day-to-day basis. All the planets do in the energies, but Mars is a personal planet. So how it moves in your chart is going to impact you directly. Okay. And so Mars typically has a 6 to 8 week transit through a zodiac or a sign. But this year it has a 7 month um 7 month period. So Mars went into Gemini August 20th, and then it will be going out of Gemini March 25th of 2023. That's huge for Mars to be in the sign that it doesn't necessarily like. I wouldn't say it doesn't like it, but it's like, okay, you cool. We'll vibe, right? Um Mars is typically, it typically rules Aries. In traditional astrology, it's Aries and Scorpio. So to be in the sign of Gemini, like, okay, cool, we friends, but whatever. So this is really, really big. The last time Mars was in Gemini was back for this elongated time. I think it was right before 9/11. And then before then, beginning of the 90s. So Mars being in one sign for this long is pretty huge. I I kind of see people talking about it, but people aren't. But I want to, let's put this into perspective, right? Okay, right now, what we have going on, all of our outer planets are in retrograde. Uranus just went into retrograde. Pluto is in retrograde. Jupiter is in retrograde. Saturn, I'm up here, see me looking up here. I am looking at my notes. Saturn is in retrograde, and Neptune is in retrograde. All the outer planets are in retrograde, while Mars in Gemini, mind you, once again, it has not been in Gemini since before 9/11, and before the and after that was before that was the early 90s. Like, that's huge, y'all. And we have all of our outer planets in retrograde. And remember, our outer planets really talk about society, how we interact with one another. If your inner planets are psychology, your outer planets are sociology. And then Jupiter Saturn is like the social psychology, right? And so with all of your outer planets from Jupiter on back being a retrograde, we are feeling the impact of society's change, on climate's change, on the earth, like the changing of the energy. That's why everything kind of feels chaotic. And then here you go in your bubble of what makes you and your personal transits, you feel this. So Mars in Gemini, with, and mind you, right now we're in Mercury retrograde shadow. So in a couple of weeks we'll be going to Mercury in retrograde. That's big, right? um Mind you, during this Mars in Gemini 7 month stands, like, Mars goes into retrograde in Gemini October 30th until January the 12th. Interesting, right? So Mars in Gemini retrograde during like partnering, buddy, whatever you want to call this season. Like we're gonna talk about that a little bit too. But let's really talk about, like, to me that's big. You have all of these big societal, generational type planets in retrograde, pulling on the energy society, impacting your personal life. You are going to feel the pressure. The pressure is getting worse. Okay, I think I done said it like 5 times today, but like literally feel the pressure is getting worse. Okay, right. But the good thing about Mars in Gemini is Gemini can handle this type of energy. That's why you tend to find Gemini people, especially Gemini suns, Gemini moons, um they tend to like be around a lot of fire signs as well. So a lot of Aries, Sagittarius, Leo energy. They have friends with that type of energy. They can, because they kind of can handle this. I'm gonna say chaotic. I mean, you even find Geminis that like have, they can deal with like the dramaticness of Scorpio placements, right? And so, but that's because they can handle that duality, the rampant energy that goes with Mars, because Mars as a planet represents energy, represents potency, it represents war. It does. And but it just, a lot of times it's just day-to-day actions. To me, and you talking about like sexual libido, Mars, right? So keep that in mind when we talk about Mars Gemini. So while Mars is a Gemini, it is time to network. Like who in your circle can extend, can help you be successful. But you have to use this with discernment, because as soon as you say one thing wrong, especially while we're in Mercury retrograde, right? Rumors will spread, ill stuff would be said about you. And so you just have to remember, like, let me watch what I say, because see, I'm trying to network, but also I know how you is, right? You got connects. I know to watch over you, like watch like what you be doing. Um, so with that as well, we need to pay. Mars in Gemini is going to help us tap into health in a different way. So you're going to see more emphasis on mental health again, because like you got to ramp up for the colder seasons. A lot of people are being impacted by climate right now. Also you have, but it's like it's not surface level mental health. It's like, what actions can I take to actually do better? Like, so you would see more of an emphasis of like, I like this therapist is trash, so I'm going to go to a better therapist. Or like, okay, well, this is happening, okay, but my meds aren't working like they're supposed to, so give me something different. And with that, we are trying to rely more on community. But with relying more on community, we cannot outstretch in to people who also cannot handle it. And what does community look like for you? Because Mars and Gemini is like, yes, expanded network, but community and network are two different things. Community are those people who are closest to you, who can help you and put you like in this mind frame. I'm like, okay, so this is what needs to happen. And so when we talk about being more intentional with our health, we're also talking about, checking into our circulatory health. Pay attention to blood circulation, heart problems. Really pay attention to discuss into your relationship with food, right? Do you actually have an eating disorder, right? That's hard to really talk about, but a lot of times we're not recognizing our mental health problems come with an eating problem, whether it's under or overeating. So you have to sit down and reevaluate your relationship with your body and food, because it's now this big investment in it, especially when food inflation as such is looking a little differently. So now we have to be like, okay, maybe the reason why I spend so much on food, because I go on my whim, and the whim may be more of an emotional thing versus like what my body actually needs. So how do I rectify that? Which goes back to checking on your physical health. It is like, if it's time for you to get your annual physical, try to do it while Mars is in Gemini. Watch out for surgeries during this time. There may be, especially as Mars goes into retrograde in Gemini, there may be an increase in STIs because the increase of sexual libido. Yes, it's a good time to date, but it's a good time to date with intention, right? Some people are like, oh, it's a good time. No, 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 no. With so many other planets kind of in retrograde, we don't know how the health system is holding up right now. I would not play with your physical health at this point. That is from a mundane standpoint and from an astrological standpoint. I wouldn't mess with your physical health right now. That's a big no. It is absolutely ridiculous what's going on right now. And like I said, remember, your major societal planets are in retrograde, so they're tearing shit up, whether we want to believe it or not. They are, right? Like Neptune is in Pisces, and it rules over water. Look at all the water stuff, and it's in retrograde. Look at all the water problems we're having. Like, let's kind of think about on a bigger scale, right? Saturn is over like infrastructure, bones. What's happening to the infrastructure? And it's in retrograde, right? So let's think about that. So that's why I'm like, do not play with your health right now. The restless energy that you're like, oh, I don't know. It may lead to sleeplessness or being impulsive. So you have to recognize that if you're having a lot of sleeplessness or sleeping problems, maybe start investing in some like tea times or some sequels or something, but not to overdo it, because we are still Saturn. No, I always say Saturn, not Saturn, Neptune in Pisces in retrograde. You're gonna see a lot more substance abuse start to happen. I want to go back to see when Neptune did go into Pisces and if we saw the uprising of opioid abuse. I need to check into that because I think there's a connection. Someone hug me, cannibal. Try to channel all of your energy into your passions. If it does not make you happy, listen, try to redirect your energy, right? If it's for your survival or for your passions, let it go. We already was talking about rumors for spirit quickly, especially while Mercury is in retrograde, and then when Mars goes into retrograde, most definitely watch out for the miscommunication, what you say, because people are going to be so impulsive, they're not going to check their emotions. And so rumors for spirit. I mean, in Gemini, like I am a Gemini. Listen, I love a good Kiki. Just is. So dive into the studies you want to dive into. This goes back into channeling your energy into your passion. So if you wanted to study something, for instance, if you want to study occult psychology, I don't know if that's a thing, but occult cosmology, or you want to study the history of crochet and that brings you love, tenderness, do that for yourself, because you need to dive into your passions. You need to channel your energy, because you never know how them actually may like help you out in the long run. Oh, I want to, like, for me right now, I want to dive back into more of the nonfiction, connecting the history to current times on the mundane side, on the spiritual side. So right now, I'm kind of trying to wrap up all these like fiction books out that I'm like, oh, I need to finish up these series so I can like really dive deep into what I want to dive deep into for my own, like, I want to say sanity, but like my own energetic, like where that is going right now. That even goes into writing what's in your heart. So this may be a really good time for you if you are doing shadow work, so healing work. And I want people to understand shadow work is ugly. It's not cute. I want people to get out of that. And sometimes you're gonna come back to the same shit until you don't figure it out. And so write what's in your heart. That is a novel, poetry, journal, like automatic writing of just starting to write and tap into spirit as you write, and maybe do automatic writing for like 5 minutes, and you go back and read like, damn, like that's what I need to do, or like, oh, that's how I've been feeling. It's like, do that, because it's going to help you do a lot of releasing. And speaking of releases, I said this before, but this fall, I think we're gonna get like a lot of new albums. While Mars in Gemini, like we already see that, like Ari Lennox, like at the beginning of Mars and Gemini, or right before, we see, Megan Thee Stallion come out with an album out of nowhere. We saw Beyonce. Now we see Ari Lennox that came out with an EP, and then she's gonna come out with an album. Other artists are coming out. Book and publishing, it's a lot going on with book and publishing right now, but we have a bunch of fall releases coming out, and Barnes and Noble is changing their policy, which is going to impact the industry, especially BIPOC authors, which are the majority of people who are trying to publish. As far as diversity, we're going to see a lot of that going on during Mars and Gemini. So you see, like, dog, it's like a lot of new authors, a lot of new people. You see a lot of things, anything dealing with communication, music. You're going to see this a lot more aggressive coming out, especially if it's coming from the heart and something that people have been working for a while. And overall, if you're going to multitask for a reason. And it's going to have to be for your highest good, right? If you're multitask on two things that you know that will benefit you, and you're not going to mess up on one thing, right? So, and that goes back to the rapid fire of Mars with Gemini, but then also while Mars is in Gemini, we have 2 Mercury retrogrades, and then it also goes into retrograde. So we want to multitask within reason. So this is giving, like, back to channeling your energy into your passions. Because if it's going to just make you stress out more because you're messed up on this one thing, then baby, let it go. Just let it go. Like, I learned this right now. I am slowing down a lot more and trying not to multitask as much, because what's that going to do for me? Nothing. Just make me more tired. Okay? Because right now, I wish it was Friday, but it's Thursday. But all the stuff that I would be doing afterwards, hopefully, will make my Friday a lot more smoother. Because I'm not multitasking. I'm just trying to do it a step at a time. It's only so much we can do as humans in the flesh. Okay. Overall, what do you need to know about Mars and Gemini? It is meant to be meaningful. It is a journey, a long journey, because it's 7 months, baby. Long journey of self-exploration to teach us about ourselves. It's going to teach us the negatives. A lot of people who are into doing like sexuality work, explore that. Explore who you are without the systems, especially while all these planets are in retrograde and collapsing. These systems are collapsing. These infrastructures are collapsing. Figure out who you are outside of these systems, okay? While Mars is in Gemini. Gemini is exploratory. It's you the energy towards the energy. It does not, like, Gemini, we talk about Gemini believes in duality. If Gemini believes in duality, it is duality. Gemini is also the in-between, the spectrum, right? And so you have to kind of channel that energy. So that is the breakdown of Mars and Gemini. I'm going to pull some cards. Let's see. You're gonna pull some cards. I'm using the Suzama. I always mispronounce it. African Tarot. Y'all know I'm a tarot girl, so I'm gonna pull from the tarot, and then I'm gonna pull from the chakra healing deck. And then I'm going to pull from Angels and Ancestors deck by Cal Gray. I haven't really been using it. This used to be one of my favorite oracle decks. But I'm going to use this. But it's probably because I haven't been reading or doing card readings like that either. So Let's connect. First of all, we're going to give thanks to Divine Spirit. Okay. Thank you, Divine Spirit. I'm going to ask protection around us, no other energies, entities, interferences interfere with this reading. I am grounding myself and I am connecting to the collective. The collective is anyone who will see this video to talk about, to figure out things about Mars and Gemini. What is the message? What should they know? Thank you in advance for the messages. Ooh. If it comes back out, it is for them. I already see a lot of ones coming out. So going back into that fire energy. Interesting. Anything else from this deck? I always know how a deck shuffles if something else is needed to be said about Mars and Gemini. Interesting. So we get a couple cards coming out. Yep. Got some swords coming out because of the mental health component. The Gemini also dealing with okay, I got some else ones come out, honey. Okay, because they got a little tight. So let's talk about what came out. Automatically, what came out, we have the Ten of Cups. Okay, so Ten of Cups is like, to me, the Ten of Cups is probably one of the hardest signs. Not signs, but hardest cards to really decipher, because it's like, are you telling me good or bad? And Ten of Cups is saying both, depending on your situation. Ten of Cups can talk about ending of a relationship, but Ten of Cups can also talk about you finding fulfillment. Fulfillment for what? Emotions, creativity, what makes you tick, right? So Mars and Gemini, remember Mars and Gemini talks a lot about passion, but also talks a lot about Three of Swords. What does that mean? Three of Swords talks about yes, ending of relationships to a sense, but also talks about figuring out the why, right? Three of Swords talks about mentally the communication. What in this sense, it's talking about finding out who is really for you. That goes back to the rumors thing, like who really for you, who talking that shit, who, and it may be a disappointment, like, but take that with like, okay, yeah, I may find out X, Y, and Z, but at least now I know who I need to get my cups to, right? We also then had Seven of Cups. So Seven of Cups is like, Seven of Cups automatically gives me, people like, oh, choices. I said, sort of. To me, Seven of Cups also says, yeah, choices, but your choice is to expand. Your choice is to see what you have. Your choice is to manifest. Your choice is to grow spiritually within yourself, because there's so much more beyond what you know and see now. Seven of Cups is literally, let me look at what I have. How can I use this? How can I grow from this? And do I still want to keep the same fucking cups, right? Because you're trying to get to, at the end of the journey of that Ten of Cups, I have all that I need fulfillment, even if that means ending certain things in my life. So after that, a couple more things started to pop out. We had the Five of Wands. It talks about conflict. Five of Wands reverse talks about conflict, but trying to resolve. It goes back into the chitter chatter, right? It goes back to working. Okay, are you actually having problems with communication, or is it just that person taking things personally, or how do you solve your articulation? How do you solve having less energy give out into the world? Okay, this is Mars and Gemini energy. It's telling you, Five of Wands reverse is telling you, don't you hear it, they may come to you, don't entertain it, right? You don't have the energy to. Page of Wands reverse talks about this undefined energy and knowing where to put it. So Page of Wands reverse is saying like, this is you. You don't have that definition yet. You need to figure out where to put that energy. But we know we can't put it into the Five of Wands that conflict because you're gonna be throwing bows, and then what? What is that gonna do? Nothing. Nothing at all. Now, another thing that popped up with doing Mars and Gemini, once again, we're going back, Nine of Swords reverse. This is that mental health component. This is like being in a point of true depression to a point is debilitating. So how are you going to help yourself mentally, right? And this is not, this goes back into putting the action with Mars, like putting your where your mouth is, your energy where your mouth is. Don't just talk about how you're going to change it. Do it. And it's going to be hard. That's why Mars and Gemini say it's going to be a long journey because it's 7 months. It's not the typical 6 to 8 weeks. What does this also mean when say, okay, what if I'm focusing on this energy but also trying to network, how do I do this? Mars in Gemini in the Eight of Pentacles is saying refine your skill sets, build upon your skill sets. Okay, this is especially because right after that we have the Five of Pentacles. Mars in Gemini is probably telling us as well, listen, continue to search for jobs, or only search for jobs that's going to enhance your skill sets, right? If you want to search for jobs, be in this place. You have to be okay. That Five of Pentacles saying it's gonna struggle. It's gonna be a struggle. So you have to also figure out how to ask for help, right? If we're going to put this into the physical category, okay, going to the gym, eating better, right? Refining your day-to-day practice of your physical health, getting help. Some of y'all are going to have to suck it up and get trainers if that is your ultimate goal, but do not have your goal to be skinniness. Have the goal to be health, right? And how you look at yourself. Because remember, all this is still all part of that spiritual journey to try to get to that Ten of Cups fulfillment. Okay. Let's see what the oracles are saying. Let's talk about chakras. Are there any messages for the collective? Automatically came out. Baby, when I say it's about to be messy, it's going to be a messy fall. Messy beginning of winter. Okay. It's going to be messy, y'all. All I hear is like, listen, you better, it's so messy. Like, I don't understand. Like, why it's just going to be so messy. It's going to be so messy. I would not be surprised if a lot of major people that we really looked up to, you see their true colors, a lot of celebrities, a lot of maybe spiritual gurus, gonna get ate up, girl. Okay, probably because the first card that came out, gossip from your heart chakra. Gossip is really talking about like, why are you chitter chattering? Why are you kicking? Is it out of a place of malice? Is it because you don't know how to mind your business? But you need to mind your business, right? Because you're gonna get your feelings hurt. Like that is what is going to happen in Mars in Gemini over the next 7 months. Watch what you say. Okay. If you're gonna be petty, you're gonna be petty. Be a smart petty. Okay. You need to we like your secrets are gonna be if you have some secrets that you want nobody to know, they may come out if you're not watching what you're saying with that card. And so the heart chakra, yeah. Another thing that came out with the heart chakra was wisdom. of applying what you know and apply it from the heart and apply it in a way that it's not gossipy. Because this is giving me two sides of the same coins. Okay, you're gonna either apply it with like, oh yeah, I knew that girl, but use it to your advantage, or you're gonna gossip and kiki with the girls and then get nowhere. Remember, this is about growing who you are as a person. Now, I'm not saying don't indulge in a good kiki every once in a while, but don't make yourself in the middle of the drama. Okay, this has come up twice for me personally in my August reading for myself and in my September reading multiple times for my spirit guides and my ancestors about that. They're like, don't say shit. Don't say shit. Just let it go. Say what you say very neutrally and let this shit go. Okay? Because you want and be okay with people talking behind your back. Okay? Use that wisdom. Oh, maybe getting your feelings a little bit. Remember back to that Three of Swords and go and keep on pushing. And the next thing we get is dealing with the crown chakras. We have confusion and instincts. Go back. Two sides of the same coin, because when you're listening to your intuition and your instinct, when you have focused and grounded and be like, okay, I'm going to listen, and maybe the typical ways of me listening is not the way I go, maybe because sometimes when I feel like I can't listen, my clear audience, my clear cognizance is not working, baby, I write them ABCs out, I get that pendulum and be like, swing towards the word, spill it out, please. Like, so I can build that up, that instinct. Like, let's sit down. What is going on? Maybe we need to do some automatic writing. Like I said before, because on the other side, it's just going to be straight confusion. As in, you don't have the discernment, you're bogged down, everything's foggy. So you need to also, something may be affecting your aura. Maybe you aren't communicating correctly, aren't answering or asking the right questions, or maybe you're just too busy to sit down and really listen. And so you need to figure out through Mars and Gemini. I think during Mars and Gemini, everyone's going to be in between these two things. The two sides, like, all right, that wasn't it. Let me go back to what, oh, there wasn't, just this back and forth, because we this time for our crown and our heart chakras, we're getting two sides of the same coin, but they look different on how you approach it or how you execute what's going on. But then we get the solar plexus, we get abundance. Well, what does that mean? That if we play this transit right, which I think, to me, honestly, the Mars and Gemini transit, to me at this point, is probably the biggest transit, because it overlays with the other ones. So in October and beginning of November, we have a lot of the outer planets coming out of retrograde, and we're going into solar eclipse season. But Mars and Gemini was like, I'm going into retrograde in October. Y'all coming out, but I'm going back in. And while we in the solar eclipse, I'm not the solar, but the eclipse season for the year. Y'all think it's chaotic now, baby, the end of October? And I'm supposed to be traveling, y'all. I'm nervous. I am nervous. I'm like, y'all supposed to be traveling multiple cities. Like in that weekend, that all this shit's supposed to be whooping. I'm like checking the energy of that weekend like every week. Okay, it's still my highest good to go. Still my listen, let me know. I would be at the house on y'all ass. Like, because I was like, I ain't about to get into no riffraff, baby. I got other stuff to do. Okay. But that solar plex, remember, solar plex is about power and confidence. And we're talking about abundance of it. Talking about knowing your power, knowing your faith. By the end of Mars and Gemini, you should be like, you know what? If I may do that shit, that 7 months, they're very ghetto amongst all the other shit that's going on, you should be able, like, coming out with a lot of confidence, a lot of faith, if you do things correctly. Oh, y'all want some birthday. Oh, let me see about incense. Okay, so now we're going to pull from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. Let's see what messages they have for us from this deck. Let's Ooh. I don't know if I ever gotten that card before, and I had this deck for a while before it got stolen. What is the problem? Okay, baby, I can't do enough for y'all right now. Okay, let's see. Any other cards from this deck for the collective? Baby, that's gonna keep coming out at this point. Okay, we have 4 cards that came out. I'm gonna have to read some of this to y'all because I haven't gotten a couple of these ever. I'm kind of excited about it. Okay, the first card we get is Shapeshifter. Transform and unveil your gifts. So we have, I don't know if y'all can see that. So we got a nice little eagle. We got a wolf. We also have a small snake. We have some, I don't know if you can see like the little stars in the background. I like how this one embodies multiple wait, I'm trying to get to y'all. Multiple belief systems into this one card. It's so cute. I never got it before. Transform and unveil your gifts. Take your time and focus on your developing gifts and strengths. Didn't we say that with the eight of Pentacles? Okay, bet. Don't we trying to refine your gifts? Okay, cool. In shamanic traditions, a shapeshifter is either an animal that has the capacity to change between species or a shaman who has the capacity to transform into an animal to go journeying. If there's a wild animal you are particularly drawn to or fascinated by, it's probably because you can transform into one of your meditation or journeying practice to go exploring the other worlds. When you shift into animal form, you can see the world through different eyes and tap into animal survival skills to help yourself through a particular situation. You may have been through many challenges and lows, but you are in a space of transformation. Transformation is so tricky. It's like the ugliest part. Like, you're going through an ascension. You're going through transformation. Why was this rougher than the low parts? Why me trying to change is the hardest part, though. Like, if I learn a lesson, it should be like Phoenix, but it's not. You are moving beyond your past challenges and honing your current strengths. There are opportunities for you to discover and rediscover the gifts and talents that you were born with and born to share. All of your past experiences have only helped you to see how strong you are. You are an amazing soul who can change and transform in ways that people least expect. You are guided to stay focused on the lights, knowing that it will guide you forward. When this card arrives, there's also an opportunity for you to tap into the power of your spirit animal. Now, do I necessarily agree with that? No, because that is very much so indigenous like. You do not have that background or know how to do that. I will try. Okay. So the next card was the Medicine Guardian. Okay. Be open to healing information. That's, to me, that goes back to the Three of Swords. They go back to the Seven of Cups. The healing information, even the Five of Wands reverse, because that's trying to resolve conflict. So we have the Medicine Guardian. Listen to what is coming up within you and what is being shared with you by trustworthy others in your life. Pay attention to healing information. When this card appears, information is being revealed that can help heal an aspect of your current situation, whether it be your health, relationships, or even career. So be alert for this. We've been talking about that, have we not? You are being exposed to information and insights that will have a dramatic healing effect on your life. If you are working through something mentally or emotionally, know that there are spiritual energies supporting your healing. If you are working through something that's physically challenging, pay particular attention to information that's coming to you that feels inspired, insightful, and warm. It will support your wellness. Yes, your angels are here to remind you that your natural state is one of wholeness and you are on the road to reveal that wholeness once more. And after that, we got the animal guardian. Trust your instincts, baby. If we get instincts one more time. I know at this point it feels like everything is yelling at y'all, okay? Trust the powerful animal spirit within to learn more about yourself and your talents. This talks about, I automatically kind of think about like pay attention to the animals, what the animals saying, like because when you connect, because they can sense a lot that's going on as well. Um, so when it talks about animal guardian, trust your instincts. Notice how much animals would just do what they feel like because instincts. And so you would need to during this process, Mars and Gemini, trust your instinct, but don't be impulsive because a lot of times animals would do things that's best for them. So you need to do things that's best for you, but not in the sense that it would mess you up long term, especially the Mars, in Gemini retrograde. Um, but tap into that inner instinct for that card. And then you have Winter. Take care of your needs. We've been talking about that this whole time. Taking care of yourself, hibernation, more rest. You know, what does rest look like for you? Because sometimes for some people, rest is not sleep. Sometimes rest is cooking finally a big meal for yourself that you can like meal prep, and it brings you peace and joy while you get some music playing on the background in the background, or you finally catching up on your shows, or anything like that. It like rest just looks different from for everybody. So hopefully this help. Hopefully, this Mars and Gemini, don't don't let this beat y'all up too much because I think it's gonna be a little rough. I'm not. I now realize why when I made the astrological outlook for 2023. I mean 2022 because I'm working on 2023. Why October? This period, September, October, November, made me nervous. It's Mars and Gemini, elongated and switching energies as these major social astrological planets move out of retrograde. That made me a little nervous. That made me Mars is that planet that if we do too much, it's gonna create more wars. We don't need all of that. We don't need all of that. Okay. And it don't be like small wars. It be elongated wars that still be impacted for 20 years later. I'm talking about how we get to this point. What started with the Gulf War of 81. I don't need it. So that is all that I have, y'all. I hope this helped out with where you are, why a lot of people are kind of feeling a little funky, um, why it feels a little off right now. Time ain't real. Why was August like that? Why September? It's the first day of September, and you feel like September about to come in and cut up for no damn reason. You ain't seen nothing yet. Okay, the end of October is gonna be a beast. But because we know what to look for, we can prepare and we know how to move forward. So I hope they helped everybody. It was a quick live, but hopefully it was really informative. So yeah, I will see you good folks later. Deuces.